We are getting ever so closer to solving this murder conundrum, one confused, riddled millimeter at a time. But we're starting out today the 12th part of Disco Elysium with talking to Joyce. We had a reality lowdown from Joyce last time. Now we're gonna go into more serious business, like the drug trade that's flowing out from Terminal B.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
Because she pats her wet raincoat.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you.
You know, neither do I.
Very rugged. Good choice. Now, I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Am I right?
Indeed, I did speak to the lorryman at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Of course she's had her eyes on us. Of course she has. Freaking spy network everywhere. Joyce? What don't you know? Wait, where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
I see. Makes a certain kind of sense in the whole Big Brother kind of way.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely. That would give them a read on the entire quarter.
And just standing there peeping at everyone with your binoculars and spy glasses and whatever the hell you're using.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
Will there be? I think we kind of agreed that there might be, but also that the police force is kind of corrupt, so... Yes, but actually no.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Or what Kim said. Still corrupted, though.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn.
So she's just taken our word for it, because all she has seen, if she's just been looking around, she's only seen us talking to people, not actually coming up with any relevant leads as to who is doing what. Though she probably, her eyes did saw us smash into a lorry, so maybe she can draw some conclusions from that. But hey, it's nice to be trusted. I don't think anyone else in this game does. For good reason.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Will we? How will it escalate? Because we're fairly certain that the Hardy Boys, with their missing 8th female Hardy boy, Hardy girl, Hardy woman, is probably behind the lynching. I'm still going with that the security guard somehow was a threat to their whole drug operation, because they kind of admitted hypothetically, always hypothetically, that they were behind the whole drug thing, because that would clean up the streets here, drive out the dealers, maybe a few too far gone druggies, and, you know, kind of like a state-run drug trade. Makes more sense in their heads. So, but how would that escalate to a bloodbath? Drug war? There's also the mob boss, Mama Papa, Mama Putra? I don't know. It was something like that.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yeah, what was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
So you're saying that the strike and the lynching is connected? Not the drug trade and the lynching, but the strike and the lynching? Or maybe it's all just one big ball of interconnected, messed up threads.
Since you are sharing, man, this is also the RCM's worst case scenario.
What he said.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Yeah, so how is the lynching and the strike, how are they connected?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Oh. I don't like where this is going, but first, a momentary lapse of faith?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Mm-hmm.
Every worker a member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric and not a serious demand, but the stridency of it seems to have spooked them.
Every worker a member of the board. That is kind of a... Yeah, that's probably just them saying they want representation on the board. Not that every goddamn worker is gonna be part of the board, but the higher-ups gonna hear what the higher-ups wanna hear. So, do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Yeah, that always goes so well. Sure, you can suppress it for now, but it'll be kept under the lid and it'll simmer until it boils over. So you're just kicking the can down the road.
Who are they, exactly?
Yes.
Crenel, an Oronese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating.
Oh, that's not good.
They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Ceramic, semi-automatic weapons and ceramic armor, just like our lynched fella. So the lynched fella was part of your security detail, not some security from the actual docks. Okay.
So, what happened?
So he probably didn't stumble onto the drug trade. It's very much linked to the strike then.
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
Oh.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Oh. What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders, for now.
Yeah, for now, yeah, they're probably angling for some kind of revenge angle at some point. And with semi-automatic weapons, that's gonna be a bitch. For now.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
I say we're making great strides into the murder investigation right now.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
She grabs hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
And that's just gonna spiral down into, yeah, I see where you got the... I see why you said bloodbath. I mean, if we already kind of know who were part of the lynching, we basically figured that out yesterday, and we did that while hungover. Shouldn't take them that very long. I'm guessing maybe they already know, but they're holding off because they don't have the 8th hardy boy. Maybe it's a good thing that she's keeping her distance for now. So we're kind of on a time limit now. Okay.
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
I guess we were already on a time limit. Yeah, Kim, sure, they have the numbers, but do they have semi-automatic rifles?
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
Yeah, there's gonna be, yeah, sure, bigger force, smaller force, sure, but people are gonna die in the streets anyway.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
Thank you, Encyclopedia. Not really necessary information right now, but it was interesting nonetheless, so thank you.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
Yeah, they will eventually overwhelm them, but so many people will die in the attempt, so yeah. This is not good. This is not good at all.
As I said, a bloodbath.
I mean, I definitely can see it happening. Too many things would have to go wrong first. No, they just have to be... She said they had stress disorders, traumatic ones. They're probably a little bit paranoid, and if they probably see it as an attack on their group. Yeah, I think too many things have gone wrong already. I mean, it's no excuse for him assaulting that woman, but you don't lynch someone for that. Unless, I guess, the justice system is corrupt. Let's not go into hypotheticals. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you be describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia.
Still don't have my badge, or my gun is still out there too, just in someone's hands.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Alright, yeah, one suspect of the lynching. Which means I'm gonna have to go back and confront because I haven't confronted them about the lynching yet, the Union boys in the whirling rags. I thought I did, but I looked through my journal and it's still there to confront them, so I haven't. I think I avoided saying anything about the hanging. I should probably go back and do that with this information. But first, what can you tell me about Krenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Downwell? That's a pretty crappy name. Downwell? Down the well? You go down? Well?
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Fourth world countries? I mean, we all know what a third world country is. A fourth world country is gonna be kind of a scat hole.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
I see. Anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
She takes a moment to think.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
She takes another moment to think.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is charged with coordinating law enforcement activities in complex multinational investigations. Their database is the single largest source of information in the world.
I see, kind of like Interpol then. A little bit.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
Do you?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company? Tell them to call them off? I don't think they would respond to those orders anyway. And the company probably won't, because they think that she needs protection.
I have. And they will.
Oh, okay.
However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Okay, all my guesses were for naught. That's fine. That's okay. I'm used to it.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Good. So you said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Ah, so hearsay. And hearsay is not really admissible as evidence. Because if you didn't hear it, you can't really rely on what someone else heard. That's just not reliable. Well, there's the whole telephone game issue. Our own memories are already fallible, so what someone else heard and just... Yeah. So what did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
And it may very well be true, but it may also be a lie, because a lie repeated often enough becomes a truth. Especially if not challenged immediately.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Yeah, this is actually the first we hear of it.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk. Maybe on narcotics, too.
I guess we're gonna have to go back there and ask Gart. Maybe he knows. He probably wasn't there. Maybe the waitress knows? Maybe we should call her again. Yeah, hi. Did you hear anything about an assault on a woman about a week ago? Oh, she never picked up because we were kind of douchebags.
Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Maybe that's why she quit her job. She was the one who was assaulted. And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
I think the Union boys might have a bit more information about that. Or... I think it's either the waitress or the 8th Hardy boy, who is in fact a woman. And that's why they lynched him, because it was very personal, because it was one from their group. Either one from their group or one from their... or a person from their hangout. It's probably waitress or the Hardy boy. Okay, this colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
And his name was...
Lely. his service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
Okay.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
There's a pang of regret to her voice.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
I see.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
Indeed. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Odanese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own.
Understandable. If your jaw is kind of messed up, you're not gonna speak normally. Well, yeah.
In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Where are the remaining two mercs now? She doesn't know. But we have to ask anyway.
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
She puts her foot on the guard wire for balance.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Alright, but we still need to know where they are. That doesn't mean we're gonna confront them, but we need to know where they are. If only so we can avoid them for the moment.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Okay, but where are these mercenaries? Wait. The precarious world. Temporary research bonus. All red checks fail. We're gonna stop that one for now. I'm so glad I remembered that one. We're not gonna do that one while we're talking to Joyce. Woo. Maybe now we can actually succeed, even though it says... Okay, where are these mercenaries? Because red checks cannot be retried.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
Oh, thank you, Logic. I would not have put that together. He's already trying to stir up trouble. Got him.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
No, not yet.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
I think we can internalize my thought again. Because I want to get this one done.
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Very poorly.
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
She nods towards the sloop's cabin. Alright, I had another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
Yeah, how much time do we have? What's the... Yeah, what's the deadline?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Okay, days. And we already know that days go by very slowly. So far, we have enough time. That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Yes, now, can you tell me about these tattoos? Show her the photo of the dead man's tattoos.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigger not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm gonna observe Joyce's expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
So, what do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like wires on a microcircuit?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
So what's the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
I see. A way for the soul to find its way back home. So what travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semnes Islands, then this.
She points to his heart. What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Inter-Islary Age.
Weird name for an age, but sure.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
Thank you, conceptualization.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Alright, but who could tell me more? Do you have any ideas?
His platoon members? The other contractors, though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
Fine, Encyclopedia. We will search elsewhere. Maybe.
Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Of course you would say that, physical instrument. Yeah, I need the information. Mark it down. Ask Mercs about tattoos.
Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security, but if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
Yeah, I think we're gonna put that on the back burner though. Maybe not antagonize them quite yet.
We will be careful, ma'am.
Very much. That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, while we are here, what can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait. What if I do want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it!
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
Oh.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
Oh.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
Fine, I'll leave it alone.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
Yes, what's your role in this whole affair precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Ah, the errand woman.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Uh-huh.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, you mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
She leans back and rolls her eyes. Yeah, we have a tangle with him. I do have more physical instrument now, so maybe I should go there and try and push him back, just to see what happens. I think I will. How are the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
One rarely does when negotiating.
And when did you first arrive?
Over a week ago, for sure.
I arrived 3 weeks ago.
Ah,
Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
so it's March now then. Gotcha. It's Tuesday, which is day 2 in March of 51. Which 51? 051? 151? 2050? We don't know.
But the strike began in December.
He looks at his notes. So the strike began in December. She didn't get here until February. Maybe the company was hoping it would just blow over. And then just let it proceed for more than 1 month?
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
Ah, I see. So they had... You're the... That was the B team and you're the A team of running around with offers.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
I mean, getting overtime pay and a medical plan, I'd say that's very worth striking for.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
So what happened to this Gaumont? Actually, let's ask about their demands first. What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes.
I think I've read one of those, but I don't remember. I think I have one of those in my inventory, actually. Which I can't access in a conversation, never mind. So Kim can access his notes. I guess I can access my notes, but I can't access my inventory. Anyway.
Every worker, a member of the board.
Yeah, I don't think that's literal, but...
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's like over-aggressive commie posturing. We need to back off a little bit on the whole communism thing.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board.
Most of them probably don't know what that means. We're gonna pretend that we do.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
I mean... that is direct democracy in action. Yeah, kind of. Kind of. Yes, but no. Because democracy would still be a majority vote, so it would just need the majority of the 2,200 workers, but that's just... I would love things to be decided but like that, but it's just not feasible and too costly. I'm thinking country-wise now. And also this for the company, but ideally, yes. But it's just not feasible, unfortunately. So we have to be satisfied with what we have, which is kind of a shitty democratic system, but hey, that's where we are.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
I mean, yeah, the workers can't be king, the king is king.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
Yeah, so what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
Probably by the scab leader to stir up trouble? Maybe.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear.
Oh.
Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Yeah, that feels a little bit out of place since we've already talked about the lynching, so yeah. So I guess the slogans were before the lynching? So not the scab leader, but maybe he's exacerbating everything, he's making everything worse. And trying to completely put them at the, you know, in a fighting position. Mess things up.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyar at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
Yeah. Procrastinator extraordinaire.
This checks out.
Yes, so what happens to this Gaumont? Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay. Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the Union.
I think I need to go talk to Mr. de Clare again. Mr. Clare? Everard. So, the scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to?
Yes, them.
Yes. They were organized by Wild Pines. The contractors picked them up from Jamrock and drove them over. This is standard practice. The company reserves the right to man its stations.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Everard? Everard? Everard
Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
He must have been really at odds with Gaumont then. Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
I did not pick up on that sarcasm. I think my sarcasm meter is broken. I mean, we have talked to him, so that's Evraro, right?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of him?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Evrard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Yeah, that's kinda majorly corrupted, alright?
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Alright, but what about the union itself, outside the corrupt Brothers Clare?
The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates slightly, looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Evrard and his brother.
She turns to me.
And your opinion, detective? If I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
I would say it's a giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol.
Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers.
I mean, sure, it has kinda given them overpay? Yes. Overpay, yes. And medical plans in the past, but I think just reorganize everything. Get rid of the brothers and do something worthwhile with it. Just clean out all the corruption. You will never be able to clean out all the corruption from such an organization, but you can do your very damn best. One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
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 Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
That's very eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter.
Is she still around somewhere? Can we reinstate her somehow?
The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Yeah. When did the Clares get onto the stage and how long have they been there? Because she said that Gaumont had previous negotiations with the Union. She didn't say with the Clares, but with the Union. So if the previous negotiations were with the forewoman, where they got overpay and medical plans and other stuff, we only heard about overpay and medical plans. Medical plans. Maybe she was actually the right thing for the Union, and the thing has gone to scat from the Clare brothers. Now I'm very tempted to, because we have the quest mission favor to unlock a door and not go in and talk to whoever's living there. But I'm very tempted to unlock the door and go in and talk to whoever's living there. I want to know now.
Thank you for your concern, man. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
Yeah, by the way, I've talked to Mr. Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Not at all. Well, he was gonna... He's... A part of me actually kind of liked him. But the major part of me... No. Not really. Even more so after this conversation.
Finally, time to choose sides.
Oh, hello, physical instrument. I see, since we increased you by 2 points, you're butting in everywhere. So... How did I like Mr. Clare? He's a bloated rainbow socialist, yeah. I wish to swear fealty to you and the cause of capital. I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
She answers her own question.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods to herself.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
My unusual colleague. Thank you, Kim.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt Verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something...
Discussing stuff is what I do best.
How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Yes.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
It would be.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Oh, I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind. I'm not allowed to.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
If I could go say that I've been dealing with her again. She nods with well-contained curiosity.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
I'd rather talk about something else for now.
Of course, Detective.
Okay.
You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
I'm not allowed to talk to her about anything concerning Evrar just now. Maybe we'll deal with him more. I'm definitely gonna go back to him. Thank you, that's all for now. Because we do have the favor thing.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
Why do you pronounce it like that when it's clearly an Brother. The what? Sounds like my stomach is growling. It sure is.
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
The vows?
The vows are blood and flesh.
Blood and flesh. What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what is the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
Oh, fascism. Are we going into fascism now? What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revershol's problem?
Why do you put a lot of random earths in there everywhere? Mostly. Mostly. What the hell? Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revershol's problems? I thought you were my circulatory system.
Quit stalling, Bruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link.
Who's the weak link? Foreigners? No. Financiers? Yes and no, only if they drop out. Leftist academicians? Or liberals? Well, this is fascism. Who is the weakest link? Leftists, you are the weakest link.
Yes, them. But also...
Also?
Women.
Women?
Women. Men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Women need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
What are you on, Endurance? I know you're not on anything, because we refused electrochemistry for a while, but... What the hell? Also, Joyce is clipping through the guard railing. She's not even supporting herself on anything, and she's impaled by whatever the hell this part of the boat is called.
That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that women need to know their place.
So you're trying to say that fascism is all about women being in the kitchen? I somehow think you have quite a warped concept of fascism, my dear Endurance. Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
And why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
Oh. Fascism sounds so bad though. What if we called it something else like traditionalism?
Okay. Yes, let's call it that. Good thinking.
I don't know why that's so funny that they put a lot of "ers" everywhere, but it just is, okay?
That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that.
Okay, Stomach. I made up my mind about fascism. Let's proceed to the judgment.
You're going to keep your vooz, right? Keep your vooz, Brota.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach. If I'm not gonna be a communist, I'm not gonna be a fascist.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver.
Ouch.
It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
Oh dear. Okay. Is this because I said I didn't like Evrar, or... I'm still internalizing... Yeah, I'm still internalizing that thought. 13 minutes left. So winner, Superstar Cop 1 point. Sorry Cop. 5 fascist, 3 ultra-liberal, 4 moralists. 2 honor. Did I have more honor before? Or less? Ask the scab leader about tattoos. There we go. Interrogate the vigilantes. I need to go back to them anyway. So back to the whirling rags it is. Didn't take that long to run here, but you know, sparing you a minute or two. Always nice. So, are they still here? Yes, they are. This is... Let's actually talk to Gart first. Maybe he knows something about the woman being assaulted.
Can I help you?
So another thing of the whirling?
Another thing. Great. I love those.
So the phone line is dead?
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers.
That's pretty strange.
It's not strange, it's inconvenient.
So is it true that there was foul play?
Who told you that?
I would never disclose my sources. That would be dishonorable.
Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers.
Yeah, you have two in your backyard. Obnoxious little bastards.
If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair bill.
Okay, something else,
Yes?
and goodbye. He knew nothing about the woman. Well, here we go.
It's you again. What is it?
Well, see, there are a few things. The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it? I'm just gonna go right for it.
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Yes, it's currently my job to do so.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the dead man's neck?
Container belt, like we use in the harbor?
Yep. Why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
So you just confessed to murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
Elizabeth, can you fuck off? I don't like you anymore.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
I mean, why would it be if they say that they had equal parts and it just arrest everyone and let them share the sentence? If they insist on doing that, stop letting people get away with that. Just no. So you murdered him just like that, no remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
No, because they were guilty of bad things, so...
Chez Electric is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Maybe the people I sent there shouldn't have murdered other people.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Again, maybe he says it as if it were worse than dying. Arguably. Again, maybe they shouldn't do crimes then. It's not that difficult. I mean, sure, if you're really down on your luck, you have absolutely no money, you have no income, you're gonna steal or starve. Fine. But if you're kind of well off, you have a job and you do crimes, suffer the consequences. I don't give a fuck. And Reunion, what's that?
The River Esperance Correctional Facility, a military prison run by the Coalition, dubbed Reunion by the inmates. The origin of the name is unknown.
Yeah, but these were all bad people, criminals, the scum of the earth.
Rest assured, lawman. None worse than our guy. He got what was coming to him.
And you're gonna get what's coming to you. I understand the lynching if it's really the assault by the woman that's behind it. I understand the action doesn't justify the action. Who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a hardy boy without arresting all hardy boys.
I am not above doing that, Elizabeth.
Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head. I am really not liking you.
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here? We're gonna ignore her.
Who do you fucking think does?
He sounds more amused than angry. I mean, you do. You give the commands.
That's right, asshole. Titus Hardy runs the Hardy Boys. Ain't that so, fellas?
He looks around for approval.
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
No, you did not get an answer. Titus does administrative work. He pushes paper, fills out forms. The others can't read. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
Elizabeth, piss off. I hate you. When did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
She turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
Okay, so how long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Murderers?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
Yeah, that kind of lines up, because he was definitely part of her security detail.
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier, the representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
Already been there?
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Shut up, Elizabeth. Why did he kill? Yeah, why did he kill him? We know how they killed him, but I want to know why. Motive is important.
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
And he stepped out of line.
He repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice.
What kind of mercenary?
I'm more interested in what do you mean stepped out of line?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
Now, here's the thing. What's preventing me from going to the mercenaries and just saying, yeah, Titus, he's the ringleader. Execute him. Sink into corruption a little bit myself.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
The man spreads his arms.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get sidetracked right now. Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wipes spittle from his mouth. I can see why you're getting so worked up. Now we're getting to the core of the issue here.
From rape to harassment to threats of violence.
Yeah.
Why the strange de-escalation?
You'd think it would be the other way around. Or at least... Threats of violence first, then harassment, then go on to rape. But...
He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started to come in here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls, grab one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
Waitress or Hardy Boy?
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information.
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
He shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted? Raped, you say?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
So it was only, lack of a better word, sexual harassment?
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
He repeats like a parrot.
There's something odd here.
Yeah, there is.
Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Right, but who did he rape them? This is a very serious allegation. We need to know.
No, you're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter, and I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
Oh, volition medium failure, damn it. So, what are we going to do now? I'm not gonna rile up these boys because they are 7 to us 2. They could just do another lynching of us 2 and no one here would care. Maybe Lena, but no one else would care. And Elizabeth would just be, yeah, no, nothing happened. They were just pushing papers.
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
How about hell no? New task, prove my authority to Titus Hardy.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus.
The lieutenant closes his notebook.
I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Yeah, there's something else buried here. This whole thing stinks.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
3% authority. Maybe I need to put some points in authority. I do have a few points, actually. A few skill and points in. I have 3. If I put... Where's authority? There's authority. Intimidate the public. Assert myself. Cool for leaders. Expert of psychological warfare. Respect junkies. Authority urges me to assert and reassert my dominance over those around me. It enables me to understand the power dynamics of groups of thugs, know how far you can push a perpetrator, and how to establish control of situations. At high levels, authority demands respect. Even a perceived slight could send me into knee-breaking mode. But with a low authority, I'm forever in awkward situations, like when you suffer psychological breakdowns after you yell at teenagers and they laugh at you. Don't bring that up, game. Don't bring that up. Putting a point in authority for sure. We still only have 3%. Well, that's fine. How about we talk to Joyce? The merc you hanged, his friends are coming for you.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Oh, you know.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
There's snickering in the room. Some of the men put their beers down. Yeah, they're forming some kind of tribunal, and they are coming for you.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Yeah, it escalates.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us, and Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
They have ceramic armor and both semi and full automatic weapons. You'd be gunned down before you knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
He punches Blondie on the shoulder.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
Did you know that a single Ceres giant hornet can kill 40 bees a minute?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
You're the bees, they are the hornet.
We're not bees. We're men. We're socialists.
Easy, E. He's trying to phase you. What are you trying to do? Scare my men?
They need some fear put into them, actually. Because, you know, the mercenaries are armed with automatic weapons.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Well, will they pierce ceramic armor?
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
That was an unsure phrasing.
See what? That they don't?
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor.
He takes a sip of beer to bide his time, then tries to get the last word in.
You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
He was drunk and probably didn't even draw his weapon. This Crenel is bad news. You do know that, right?
So are the local gangs, the fucking Barmy Army, and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Madre was the name of the crime boss.
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals with decades of combat experience. They are not a gang or a barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. We know more about them than you think.
They sure as hell aren't drunk right now. Joyce said that they have gone rogue. Nobody is controlling them.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
He jerks forward a bit. I mean, okay, they're going to wipe you the fuck out, Titus.
No, they won't. Get out of here with your negative energy.
All he means is that the situation is serious.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder you cops get shot to shit every day. Can't go to war with an attitude like that.
17%. Warned about the tribunal. I mean, 17%... I could try it. Went from 3 to 17. It's a white chick, so they can just put more points into authority at some point and try it again. Let's... Okay. RNG gods, be with me.
Establish authority. Yes. Authority. Feverish thoughts race through your mind.
Be a toddler, stomp my feet. Be a wannabe tough guy, point my finger. I'm not gonna get the gun, they're armed. That's it, that's all I got.
Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results.
No, not when up against 7 armed men and their lawyer bastard who stands there and will testify that I am an asshole.
You're probably right. The others are only there for filler, to make the gun thing pop.
I'm the only thing keeping this town from going to hell, and you're not helping.
And what exactly is it you've been doing that's so goddamn special? Shitting yourself in front of us. Going around, harassing kids on the street. Kids who've done nothing wrong.
They messed up my murder scene.
All the while talking racist shit. Don't think we aren't watching, fascia. People here trust us. We're getting complaints.
Hey, I actually told Measure had to go... I didn't tell him that. I told him I wasn't going to subscribe to it. I'm not the one who's been talking the racist crap. We have the lorry driver, we have Measurehead, and his cronies. Have we been talking racist crap? We might have. We're a bit of a douchebag. We don't know what's going on. We're also very communist and slightly fascist. However that works.
Fascia. That's short for fascist.
I'm not shitting myself.
Of course you are. Didn't Carly work in a diaper shop?
Yeah. Callie said you've been hanging around the adult diaper shop, browsing the aisles. Too ashamed to ask for assistance.
Now that I can believe. And then there's the matter of the floor being completely covered in feces.
Yes, shit, feces, poop, scatological jokes. If you don't have anything more to say, then we are going to go back to asking questions.
You don't have to be the butt of every joke. You're making the lieutenant look bad. Just stick to what you know. Guns.
I'm gonna take off for now. Alright. Alright. What do you want now?
The precarious world.
My thought is done.
How not to lose. It is impossible not to. The world is balanced on the edge of a knife. It's a game of frayed nerves. You're pushed on by numbers and punitive measures. Pain, rejection, and unpaid bills. You can either play, or you can crawl under a boat and waste away. Turn into salt, or a flock of seagulls. Your enemies would love that. Or you can fight. The only way to load the dice is to keep on fighting.
Oh yeah, we're gonna keep fighting. Bonuses? Critical success and failure thresholds lowered by 1. Nice. We're loading the dice. Definitely gonna keep that thought. Is there another thought I want? Kingdom of Conscience? Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your worry-worn forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. The ideals of DeLorean humanism are reinstating themselves. How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralist International. Those guys are signal blue. They're not only good, they're also powerful. What will it be like once their nuanced plans have been realized? Oh, I guess we're kind of going into Kingdom of Conscience Moralist. I forgot about that. White Morning. Should probably finish this one. Because it seems like maybe it does something with authority. Because I am one sorry piece of shit and we're critiquing ourselves. Let's do that. Let's internalize that thought. Internalize that thought. We're already halfway done. Let's do it. Well, let's see. I want to do the whole door thing, Evrar thing, and then I have to run back for that. Good thing time doesn't actually move while I'm running. So I think there's that. There's the door thing. I want to check who's inside. And then go back to Evrar, because we want to talk to him a little bit more. And I did not expect them to actually confess to the murder. Didn't expect that. I thought they were going to be evasive and send me on a runaround. But there's something weird going on here with all the sexual allegations and harassment and de-escalation in threats and something strange around here. Guess we'll find out next time. Leaving this here. If you made it this far, thank you for sharing some of your time with me. I appreciate you very much. So please, take care of yourself. Be kind. Let's all be kind. And I'll see you next time.